we come to you live from the Stade Vélodrome in Marseille, France, episode 004. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about Harry Redknapp. Just where is the best fit for the big red-nosed man? Secondly, we're going to be chatting about Donkey of the Week. This week, it is none other than Luis Suarez, the doppelganger for Splinter himself. And finally, on the chopping block is going to feature AVB the Juvenile. We may as well get started, but first let me introduce the two members of the bench joining me this week, as they do every week, the ever-present and ever-cynical Jonathan Grunstein.
Monsieur Rosenberg, a pleasure as always.
And Nicholas Lasker.
It's wonderful to be in France.
Alright, let's start with Harry Redknapp. There's been lots of talk, lots of speculation that maybe he's going to England, maybe he's going to be England manager, maybe he's going to stay at Tottenham. What do you think he should do, Grunstein?
Well, first of all, I think we owe Harry Redknapp an apology for declaring him the Donkey of the Week last week after he's been acquitted on his tax evasion trial.
Absolutely. He was furious. He watches the show. Hey, Harry.
Yeah. For me, Harry Redknapp is a club manager through and through, a life club manager. He's a manager who's built himself on being a man manager and having relationships with players. He's a personality himself. He likes engaging the personalities of his team. And I just can't imagine him leaving the club atmosphere and the week in, week out competitive nature of football, Premier League football, to sit in the stands of Premier League games week in, week out, writing notes on players. He wouldn't be writing notes because he reads and writes like a 2-year-old. But it's just not him. Yeah. And I don't think he's suited to the England job. The England job itself is a poison chalice. They're not going to do well at the championships. Their fans have the most unrealistic expectations out of any club or international side in the world.
That being said, he's always said it's a bit of a dream of his to be the manager of England. What do you reckon, Nico?
That's precisely why I think he should take the job. Obviously, step 1 is learn how to write. Step 2 is take the England coaching job. I think that this is a job he's wanted for some time. Tottenham, they're a great club. They're not in, let's call it the top 4 or 5 biggest clubs. They're having a great season. And yes, he has galvanised that dressing room, and this is their best year ever. But the England job, without a doubt, is a step up. It's a step up from where he is now, and I think he should take it. He has notoriously done that throughout his career, going to Portsmouth, from Portsmouth, back to Portsmouth, and then to Tottenham. He likes to leave clubs, when he's got them playing well.
I do agree that he likes to leave and jump ship, but at this point, he's worked so hard to get Tottenham where they are. They're finally hitting the peak of all his work, and he's going to jump ship.
Yeah, he will, because it enhances his reputation, and that's the point of it all. He's not a Tottenham fan. He didn't grow up. He doesn't have, as much as fans like to say such and such personality has them in their heart. I don't really think that's the case, and I think he's just building a career, and he should take the England job.
I think he will take the job as well, but I don't think he should. And you say it's his dream to take the England job. I think his dream is also to take a club into the Champions League and possibly even win the Premier League. And we were debating a few weeks ago on this bench whether Tottenham could win the Premier League, and we said they could.
But they've been to the Champions League, and they've done well in that tournament in a previous season. Winning the Premier League, fine, but that's a pipe dream, realistically.
Sure. Well, he was the Donkey of the Week last week, Harry Redknapp, and this week, someone a little different.
Donkey, 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 donkey of the week.
Before joining the Premier League, he was suspended in the Dutch league for biting a player. He also handballed on the line famously in the World Cup. You wouldn't exactly describe him as the kind of guy you want to take home to your parents. It is Luis Suarez, and this week, he's the Donkey of the Week. Nico, what do you reckon about him?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't take him home to your parents, because when he would be eating dinner, he'd break the plates with that massive front teeth of his. They're out of control.
Sure, and he probably wouldn't shake your dad's hand either.
Absolutely. Absolutely not. Rumour has it that front tooth can cut a diamond. Such as the power of it. Look, if there's another word for it, I don't think there is. He's filthy. And I'm going to call it now on the bench. I honestly don't think that he should ever be allowed to play in the Premier League again.
Thanks, Fergie.
Wow.
Well, Fergie said that, it's beneath Liverpool and so on and so forth, and that's fine. But I honestly, I've looked at it from every which way, and, my club's team captain, John Terry, another, case, has allegedly racially abused someone, but he's going to take his medicine. Suarez has been given every opportunity to apologise, to shake the guy's hand, to just admit he was generally wrong after being found guilty.
John Terry could have done that when the clip came out of him mouthing the actual racial abuse.
I believe
everyone has seen it.
I believe when he wasn't facing the camera, as he said, "I didn't call you," and then, you know, these things happen in football. I just think what he did was just a disgrace, and you just can't. You can't. There's no defending it.
Okay, well, let's just say, in Suarez's mind, he's not guilty. He never said that, and then Evra comes along and makes him not play the game he loves for 8 weeks. Can you see then his reason for not shaking his hand, Grinstein?
No, because he's guilty. Have you read the investigation report?
Yeah.
He's guilty as anything.
Fair enough. Liverpool fans seem pretty hung up on the fact that they believe him, they're behind him.
Well, they're wrong. And Liverpool fans are generally blinded on these sorts of issues. They're pretty passionate. Absolutely. And one thing they wouldn't be able to see is that, sure, Luis Suarez is our donkey of the week, but there's an even bigger donkey at Liverpool. And I know I've been hard on him on the bench. I know I've been hard, and I know I love to say his nickname, but the fish rots from the head down. And King Kenny's performance in that after-match interview was just as disgraceful.
I agree. To support him after all that he did, you know, it's just ridiculous.
Only the chopping block.
Well, he's only recently learnt to tie his shoelace. He's AVB, he's 34 years old, and I can't imagine he'd have much respect in the dressing room. Grunstein, should he go or should he stay?
Well, is there anyone else left for them to hire? Haven't they done the rounds? They're going to be going back to Mourinho or something? It's ridiculous. They're playing really badly. I don't think it's necessarily a clear-cut case that he is responsible. You have ageing players, you have disinterested players, you have egotistical players and players with attitude problems. And I think it's just a terrible mix right now. They were always on the downside of their careers, these players, and it just so happens to coincide with the timing of AVB's entry to the club. I think the young players have improved under him. Ramirez is having a career best season. Sturridge is having an excellent season. So I don't think you can point to the fact that he's done nothing except make them worse. I think they were just an ageing side, and it's just an issue of timing rather than anything managerial.
They're definitely a squad in transition. Definitely agree with that. Now, I know you like to stand firm by your managers and change them as much as you change your underwear. So what do you reckon? Should he go?
Well, don't let the colour of my shirt today colour my opinions to the viewers out there in multimedia land. But let me just say that I agree 110% with my colleague, my esteemed colleague, as I was...
That concerns me.
I was brought early on in the piece to refer to you as. I couldn't agree more. He's got a squad of just bad apples at the moment. Guys who are just, Drogba's malaria-ridden. You've got John Terry, his ego can't fit through the front door. You've got Ashley Cole, he's busy looking for someone to sleep with. Pockets full of money like Wayne Bridge. There's just all kinds of stuff going on inside that squad. And I think that he's been given the mandate, let's change things up. Let's go for youth, let's build for the future. And you can't do that and just chop a man down, halfway through a season. Perhaps going on history, he should have been chopped because many other Chelsea managers who have done just as well, or if not better, have been sacked. Like Ancelotti's a case in point, and that comes down to that's the club's fault. And now they're going to have to fall on their sword and just keep the man in the job and hope and pray that he's not a complete donkey.
Well, I've actually just done my senior coaching license here in Australia. So if you're listening, Abramovich, I'll gladly take the job.
Pep Rosenberg.
A cut price as well, only a couple $1 million a year. I'm not picky.
He will have to pay the bench a hefty transfer fee, though. I'm thinking maybe 10 to 15 million pounds just to release you from this gig.
And that seems like a good enough note to end on for this week. If you're a fan of the show, please subscribe. That button up there. And also, leave a message. Do you reckon AVB should go? Would you put him on the chopping block? We'd love to hear from you. Please get in touch. You can always send us an email, hate mail, or anything you want to say. askthebench@gmail.com. We will see you guys next week. Thank you very much, gents.
Thank you.
Au revoir.
We're now going to look very busy and shuffle our papers.
I only have one paper to shuffle.